Okay guys, we're here again with America, Land of the Slaves. This is part 4, the fluoride, truth about fluoride series, and part of this series. And we left off in the last video with 4.1. This is 4.2. And we're going to continue on. In 4.1, I gave you guys the about of a video that explained a little bit more about fluoride. I talked to you guys about the importance of fluoride, especially how we bathe in it and we cook our food in it and we do all kinds of stuff with it. And it is not a very good thing for our body. I will let this video speak for itself, and we'll just get straight into it, you guys. I hope you enjoy this, and I will see you, talk to you guys after this, well, throughout the video and after it.
All right, we're going to go ahead and go to this very important interview with Dr. Paul Conant on the documented dangers of fluoride.
I think the most important thing to recognize about fluoride is that it's extremely toxic. It is very active biologically, interfering with many basic biochemical processes, enzymes, G proteins, hydrogen bonds, and so on. So it shouldn't surprise us that there's a wide range of health effects that are attributed to fluoride. But the bottom line is that fluoride is extremely active biologically, that the first opponents of fluoridation going back to the 1950s were biochemists, including scientists like James Sumner, who won a Nobel Prize for enzyme chemistry. And incidentally, there is no doubt that fluoride damages health, because millions of people in India, China, and parts of Africa have had their health ruined by fluoride. The people have been crippled by fluoride and many other health effects. The argument, as far as fluoridation is concerned, is there an adequate margin of safety between the doses which cause this known harm, and incidentally documented in this report by the National Research Council, published in 2006. Here, a fairly independent, balanced panel looked at the literature for 3 years, and in this 507-page report and 1,100 references indicated that the EPA safe drinking water standard for fluoride is 4 parts per million. It's not safe, it's not protective of health, and needs to be lowered. But before I get into the health effects, let me explain my first concern, which remains my top concern. The level of fluoride in mother's milk, mother's breast milk, baby's first meal, is extremely low. It's 0.004 parts per million. That means a bottle-fed baby in a fluoridated community in the United States, where we fluoridate the water at 1 part per million, is getting 250 times higher dose of fluoride than a breastfed baby. And that is extremely disturbing. This is a hazardous waste. No question about it. It's not only hexafluorosilicic acid, but it's a lot of crap that Neil was talking about. It's got lead and arsenic and mercury and radioactive isotopes, maybe trace amounts. They can't dump that into the sea by international law. They can't dump it locally because it's too concentrated. But wait for it. If someone buys it from them, you take away the label hazardous waste, and it becomes a product. And
So, do you guys kind of see what's happening here? I could continue to show you videos for days and days and days on end, and hours and hours and hours of video, and, you know, I mean, it's all going to be saying pretty much the same thing. I mean, fluoride is very toxic to our body. It is not meant to be ingested. The same amount of fluoride that's in the toothpaste, in a pea-sized amount of toothpaste, is the same amount of fluoride that's in an 8-ounce cup of water. Now get this. When you look on the back of the toothpaste bottle, it tells you that if you swallow more than a pea-sized amount of, or either swallow it period in general, you need to call poison control. You're not supposed to swallow the toothpaste because of the fluoride in it, right? So why would you swallow drinking water that's coming out of the faucet if it has the same amount of fluoride in it? You should, I mean, literally, you should be calling poison control. However, the thing is that what I talked about earlier in the last video in 4.1 was that I just totally lost my train of thought. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Well, anyways, I'll just continue on with the video. I might remember what I was saying later.
Who's going to buy this stuff from them? Oh, our water department. So the water departments buy this hazardous waste, it becomes a product, and now they put it in our drinking water. And now, let me go through the list of health concerns. Some of them are more certain than others. Let me begin with the certain one. Dental fluorosis. Fluoride causes a discoloration, mottling of the tooth enamel. When this practice began in 1945, the promoters of fluoridation thought they could limit dental fluorosis to 10% of the children in its very mild form. And the very mild form has little specks of white opaque patches on the cusp of the teeth, up to 25%. And they thought that only dentists would notice this, and was an acceptable trade.
Okay, you guys, I remember what I was saying. Well, basically the point that I was making was that with the, when you have the pea-sized amount of fluoride and you have the, that same amount of fluoride in the water, most people aren't going to notice that the water is killing them. That's the thing that's sad. And in the last 4.1, I was explaining that you could die of, like, what looks like natural causes, like heart attacks, and you have bone breaks, and your kidneys shut down, or just all kinds of things that look like natural causes, but really they're symptoms of fluoride poisoning. So this is serious.
Trade-off with what they thought would be a lowering of tooth decay. Well, in November of 2010, the Center of Disease Control told us that children aged 12 to 15 in the United States, 41% of them now have dental fluorosis. And not only the very mild, but the mild, which impacts up to 50% of the tooth surface, moderate, which impacts up to 100% of the tooth surface, and severe, where you not only have the whole surface impacted, but indentations, chipping of the teeth, and so on.
So I'm going to pause it here, guys, and I'm going to continue on with 4.3. This video is getting kind of long, and hope you guys are getting a lot of information and understanding, and your awareness is broadening, and you continue on with the next video. I'll see you guys later. Again, this is America, land of the slaves, the truth about fluoride.